The Last Seeds. Act 1. Awakening. Day 1. Video log. Dr. Maya Okonkwo. I'm turning on this recording because procedures demand it. Every senior specialist is required to document the first 90 days after emerging from cryostasis. For future colonists. For history. I don't know who for. I'm not sure if my tongue is fully working yet. I woke up 47 minutes ago. My body isn't a body. It's a collection of separate, mutually hostile entities. Every muscle is a stiff cord, stretched 3 tons too tight. The tongue god. The tongue is a dish-scrubbing brush, rough, swollen, too big for my mouth. I try to swallow. It tastes like aluminum mixed with chemicals from the air recyclers. I open my eyes. Light. The light is wrong. Through the window of the medical module, 2 streams pour in, one amber, warm like heated honey, the other pale blue, cold like ice on metal. The twin sons of Kepler 442b, Kepler A and Kepler B. Scientifically, I've known about them for years. I saw thousands of photos, simulations, 3D renders during mission preparation. But no picture captures how alien they are. They cast double shadows. My own silhouette on the white wall of the module is repeated twice, once orange, once steel blue, like an echo of the person I used to be. I try to lift my hand. The gravity is 23% weaker than on Earth. 23%. I remember it exactly from the briefings. We practiced for months in the simulators. But simulators are one thing. Reality is another. My hand rises as if on invisible strings. Too lightly, too fast. My brain screams that something is wrong, that I'm falling, that the ground is slipping out from under my feet. My stomach lurches into my throat. I close my eyes, count to 10. Breathe. It's okay. It's okay, Maya. You are here. You survived. You've arrived. I sit up slowly. Every movement is a negotiation with gravity that doesn't play by the familiar rules. My legs hang off the medical bed. I touch the floor with my feet. The floor is cold. Metallic. It vibrates slightly, the fusion generator on level -3, 3 sections down. I feel it through my whole body. A pulsation, like a very distant, mechanical heartbeat. Audio log. 7:34. Colonial time. Dr. Maya Okonkwo, Senior Botanist, Project Genesis 7. Status. Post-cryostasis procedures completed. No medical complications. Blood pressure stable. Temperature normal. I'm lying. I have complications, just not the kind you can measure. In the mirror, I see a stranger. A woman with a swollen face, bloodshot eyes, hair stuck to her skull as if someone poured gel over it, is looking back at me. It's me. After 12 years of sleep at a temperature of -137 degrees Celsius, I touch my cheek. The skin is strange, as if distant, as if it belongs to someone else. I get dressed. Gray colonist jumpsuit, number 0047. The fabric smells sterile, chemical. Everything here smells of plastic and ozone from the recyclers. I miss the smell of Earth, real Earth. I walk out into the corridor. The Genesis 7 residential module is a labyrinth of white corridors lit by pulsating LED lights. The light changes on a 28-hour cycle, trying to simulate the day and night of Nova Terra because on the moon we landed on, a day lasts exactly 28 Earth hours. My brain is already protesting. Chronic migraines are supposedly standard for the first few months. I can feel them, a pulsing pain behind my right eye, as if someone is driving a hot nail in there. I pass other colonists who were awakened earlier. Technician Yuki Tanaka, small, fragile like a porcelain doll, nods to me. She has dark circles under her eyes. Engineer Leon Castellanos, burly, with a beard that hasn't grown back evenly after cryostasis, mutters something in Spanish while adjusting a control panel on the wall. We all look like wraiths, ghosts of the old world wandering through the new. Day 3. Biosphere. Alpha. Level -1. Today was the first time I could enter the biosphere. It's the largest room in the entire colony. A geodesic dome, 20 meters high, 60 meters in diameter. The walls are made of plastglass, a transparent polymer that withstands pressure. Through them, you can see the landscape of Nova Terra, and it is beautiful in its own way. The moon's surface is silvery gray, covered in a fine, crystalline dust that shimmers in the dual sunlight. In the distance, mountains rise sharp, young, uneroded by wind, because there's no atmosphere here beyond our hermetic domes. The sky is dark navy, almost black, dotted with stars even during the day, and two suns, always two. But inside, the biosphere is empty. The emptiness hurts more than I expected. I walk along the terrestrial troughs where fields of wheat should be growing. My footsteps echo off the empty walls. I touch the soil. The soil is here. Real earth, transported from Earth in hermetic containers. 6 tons of real earth. I close my eyes. I take a handful. I feel its moisture, its coolness. The texture is grainy, soft between my fingers. It smells of home, of forest floor, of rain on dry soil, of everything I've lost. I collect samples. Standard procedure. Acidity levels, microbiome levels, symbiotic nitrogen-fixing bacteria. Everything is normal. The soil is ready. But the seeds. Day 5. Genetics Laboratory. A meeting with Commander Zhang Wei. He's already waiting when I enter. Zhang is 56, but he looks 70. Cryostasis is not kind to older organisms. His face is a map of wrinkles. His eyes brown, sharp as a razor. His Chinese Space Agency uniform is perfectly pressed. The only thing in this colony without wrinkles. Dr. Okonkwo, he says in English with a slight accent. Report? I place a tablet with data on the table. My fingers tremble slightly. 40% of the Earth gene bank did not survive the journey. 40%. That means thousands of species. Heirloom wheat, 27 varieties of rice, heritage tomatoes, beans, medicinal herbs. Everything froze too hard during the cryogenic anomaly in the 9th year of the journey. Zhang is silent for a long time. I can only hear the hum of the ventilators. We have a plan B, he says finally. Plan B? GMO3. Synthetic genomes. The Wuhan-Stanford project has been developing them for the last 20 years. Plants designed from scratch, maximum yield, minimal requirements, resistance to extreme conditions. We have the full library in the database. We can print them in the bioreactors within a week. I look at him. Those won't be real plants. They will produce oxygen. They will provide food. They will give life to 12,000 people in cryostasis on levels -5 to -9. But they won't have history, memory. It won't be Earth. Zhang stands up. He walks to the window. He looks at the twin suns. Earth is dying, Dr. Okonkwo. Perhaps it's already dead. We don't know. The last transmission from 12 years ago spoke of 3 degrees of warming. That was 12 years ago. For us? But for them, time relativism, dilation at a speed of 0.7 C15, years have passed there. 15 years. If anyone is still alive there, they won't survive on our memories of how Grandma's tomatoes tasted. Day 7. Personal Diary. 2317. I'm lying in my cabin, 2 meters by 3. Metal walls. A bed fixed to the floor. A locker. A desk. My whole world. I'm looking at the only photo we were allowed to bring. Grandpa Emeka in his orchard outside Lagos. He's standing under an apple tree, the only one that survived the heat waves. He's smiling. In his hand, he holds 1 apple. Small, gnarled, imperfect. This is the last one, he said when he gave me the photo before takeoff. The last apple from the last apple tree. Carry it with you in your memory, Maya. Carry our Earth where you are going. I touch the photo. The paper is smooth, cold under my fingers. Grandpa is dead. He died 7 years after we left. By Earth time 9 years ago. I never saw his grave. I never said goodbye. Everything I loved is dead. Or, it lives in memory. And that will have to be enough. Day 12. Biosphere Alpha. First cultivation attempt. Today I planted the first seeds. Not synthetics. Not GMO3. Real seeds. From those that survived. 20 tomato seeds, an heirloom variety. Brandywine. A continuous line since 1885. 50 seeds of Genovese basil, 30 seeds of wheat, triticum, aestivum, a line from the Ukrainian steppes, as old as civilization. I dig little holes in the earth with my finger. The soil is warm from the heat lamps, soft. It smells of life. I place each seed separately, gently, as if I were tucking children into bed. Grow, I whisper. Please, grow. You are all we have left. Day 23. First transmission from Earth. An alarm wakes me at 3 in the morning. I jump out of bed too quickly. Gravity tries to throw me to the ceiling. I grab the wall, running through the corridor. Others too, all in their underwear, half-conscious, terrified. What happened? An alarm? An attack? Zong's voice over the intercom. Everyone to the communication center. Immediately. We have a transmission. The communication center is a small room with 20 screens. We are all there, the 8 colonists already awakened. We stare at the main screen. An image materializes. It flickers, burns with white noise, then returns. A woman, maybe 40 years old, maybe 60, it's hard to tell through the distortion, dressed in the uniform of the United Mission Coordination Center. Behind her, a room is visible. Fluorescent lights, worn-out consoles, a damp stain on the ceiling. To all colony ships, this is the final message from Earth Coordination Center, Brisbane, Australia. The last major coordination center, supposedly the only one still operating. There has been an acceleration of the methane cascade in the Arctic, 340% above the darkest predictions. The tipping point, 3.5 degrees. We will reach it in 847 days. 847 days, the woman repeats. That is the last number we have. After that, the extinction cascade is mathematically irreversible. All ships, this is the last convoy. There will not be another. There isn't enough fuel, people, time. The image begins to waver. If anyone hears this, survive. Survive for us. Remember what it was like before. I look at my watch. Earth date. The transmission traveled for 12 years. For us, for them, 15. 847 days from that transmission. 15 years ago. Which means it has already happened. Earth crossed the tipping point 13 years ago. Maybe no one is there anymore. Day 27. Audio diary 4:33. I can't sleep. I walk through the biosphere at night. The lamps are dimmed to 10%, simulating night in the 28-hour cycle. But I need a 24-hour rhythm. My body is still on Earth time, the time of a world that no longer exists. I kneel by the first tomatoes. They've sprouted. God, they've sprouted. Tiny, 2 centimeters high, barely visible in the dark, but they are there. I reach out my hand. I touch a leaf. It's soft, delicate, warm from the lamps, wet with dew from the irrigation system. I lift my fingers to my nose. It smells like home. It smells like summer in Grandpa's orchard. It smells like earth after rain. It smells of everything I've lost. I won't let them die. I won't let the last seeds of earth die in alien soil 638 light years from home. It's all I have left. It's all any of us have left. Day 45. Colony Council. Conference room. We sit around the table. The 8 senior specialists awakened in the first phase. Zhang at the head. Me to his right. Leon Castellanos opposite. Zhang begins. We have a problem. Dr. Okonkwo? I stand up. I turn on the holographic presentation. Charts materialize above the table. 40% of the gene bank did not survive. Of the remaining 60%, half are showing growth delays. The soil is good. The temperature is good. But the plants don't want to grow. Hypothesis. Stress from the journey. Cosmic radiation. Genetic mutations. Or they just miss it. They miss the Earth's sun. The Earth's seasons. They miss home. Leon slams his fist on the table. Plants don't miss things, doctor. It's biochemistry. It's photosynthesis. It's science, not poetry. I look at him. Call it what you want. The fact is that 12,000 people in cryostasis on the lower levels need oxygen and food, and our traditional crops won't be enough. That is why I propose switching to GMO3. Immediately, a full conversion of the biosphere. No, we can't. We can, and we must. Dr. Okonkwo, I understand your sentiment. I really do. But sentiment will not produce oxygen. Sentiment will not feed the colony. I lean over the table. This isn't about sentiment. This is about who we are. If we abandon the last earthly plants, if we replace them with synthetics, we will no longer be people from Earth. We will be, what? Clones? Machines? Leon speaks more softly. Earth is dead, Maya. You saw the transmission. 847 days. It has already happened. Everyone we loved, they are all dead. You don't know that. I do. And you know it too. Day 67. Biosphere Alpha. Section C. I sit among the garden beds. 27 tomato plants surround me. 50 basil shoots. 120 stalks of wheat. I touch the leaves, one by one, like a rosary prayer. Each leaf is separate, unique, imperfect. This leaf has a brown spot. That one is slightly twisted. This one grows sideways, not up. They are not machines. They are children of Earth. I remember a lesson from my grandfather. I was 8. We were planting tomato seedlings. Look, Maya, he said, this seedling is crooked. See, we could throw it away, grow a straighter one. But then we would lose something important. What, Grandpa? It's history. This plant is crooked because it fought, because it grew in the shade, because it had to bend to find the light. This crookedness is its strength, not its weakness. It reminds us that life is not perfect, and it doesn't have to be. I cry. The synthetic plants will be perfect, straight, efficient, without history, without memory. And I won't let that be the only kind of life that survives. Day 89. Emergency transmission. An alarm wakes me at 3 in the morning. Everyone to the communication center, immediately. The screen. Black. Just static. Then, an image. It's not Brisbane. It's somewhere else. A voice. Anyone. This is the last station. Himalayas. Shelter base. Number. Temperature. 48. Cooling systems have failed. Children in. I can't. If anyone hears, tell them we tried. That was today. 12 years of travel, plus 15 years of Earth time. This recording is 15 years old. Whoever said that is long dead. Day 89. Personal diary. 23:59. I lie in the darkness. I stare at the ceiling. Earth is dead. Maybe not literally. Maybe somewhere someone has survived. In deep shelters. Underground. Like rats. Like ghosts. But the world I knew, the world of Grandpa's orchards and rainforests and great cities and languages and music and food and laughter, that world is dead. And all that's left of it are 27 tomato plants, 50 basil bushes, 112 stalks of wheat, and me, and I won't let them die. I won't let it all, everything we were, die in the darkness of space. Act 1 ends. Tomorrow, a war begins. Not for survival, for memory. Act 2, growth. Day 90, Biosphere Alpha. 6. Today, I begin an experiment. I have divided the biosphere into 2 sections. Section A, traditional Earth plants, everything that survived the journey. Section B, GMO. 3, Jang synthetics. I have to be fair. I have to know. The synthetic plants were printed in the bioreactors 4 days ago. I observed them through the lab glass. They are strange. The leaves are an overly intense color. It's not a green like on Earth. It's a green like a neon sign in a nightclub. Sharp, artificial. The stems grow perfectly straight, without the slightest deviation. No crookedness, no struggle for light. I look at them and I feel unease, as if something is wrong, as if I'm looking at a photo of flowers, not living flowers. I move to section A. It smells different here. It smells of earth, of green things, of life that remembers where it came from. My tomatoes are already 10 centimeters tall. One bush is growing sideways, reaching for the light from the window. Another has smaller leaves on the left side. Imperfect, beautiful. I touch a basil leaf. It's soft, velvety, warm. It leaves an oil on my fingers. It smells so intense it makes my eyes water. Grandpa always said that basil is the scent of summer. In 100 days, I will have the data. I will compare growth, oxygen production, nutritional value, and then I will have to choose. Day 112, Corridor C7. Late night, I'm returning from the biosphere. After 11 p.m., the corridor lights are dimmed to 20% night in the colonial cycle. I see Leon. He's sitting on the floor against the wall, leaning his back against a control panel. He has a cup of something steaming in his hand. Tea? Recycled coffee? It's hard to tell in this light. Leon? Maya? Can't sleep either? I haven't slept well since the transmission. Sit. We sit next to each other. It smells of metal and ozone, the typical scent of the colony. But Leon also smells of sweat and something else. Machine oil, engineering lubricants, work. How is your daughter, I ask. I know he lost his family on Earth. His wife, Carmen. His daughter, Isabel, 8 years old. I was just trying to remember her face, he says after a long moment. And I can't. 12 years in cryostasis, 15 years of Earth time, and I've forgotten what my own daughter looked like. I only remember fragments. Her hair. She had dark hair like Carmen, and her laugh. A loud laugh like bells. But her face, I can't see it. I reach out. I touch his arm. I feel the tension of the muscles under his jumpsuit, the warmth of his body. A tremor. It's not forgetting, I say quietly. It's changing. Memory evolves. It becomes something else. You don't lose it. It just takes a different form. You talk like a botanist, because I am a botanist. Plants remember too, in their seeds, in their genetic code. The wheat I planted in the biosphere remembers the Ukrainian steppes from 1,000 years ago, even if it has never seen them. So my daughter, she's like a seed? Yes, and as long as you remember her in any form, she is alive. Leon rests his head on my shoulder. I feel his weight, his warmth, the dampness of tears on my skin. I don't say anything. I just sit. In a colony full of machines and plastic, this is the first truly human moment in weeks. Today, 156, Genetics Laboratory, a breakthrough. I am analyzing DNA samples from sections A and B. The screen displays sequences, colored lines, peaks, valleys, beautiful in their complexity. The GMO3 plants grow 187% faster. They produce oxygen 112% more efficiently. They are, by every measurable metric, superior. But there is a problem Zhang didn't anticipate. The synthetics secrete chemical compounds, aldehydes, ketones, ethers that are toxic to earthly insects. We only have 27 bees that survived the journey, and 17 of them are already dead. I found them this morning in section B, little black bodies on the dome floor, motionless, wings folded like paper. I picked one up, light as nothing, fragile. It smelled of almonds, cyanide, a defensive reaction from the GMO plants. I have to tell Zhang. Day 156, Commander's Office, 14:30. We can't switch to full GMO, I say without preamble. I toss the tablet with the data onto Zhang's desk. Zhang looks up from his reports. He looks even worse than a month ago. The wrinkles around his eyes are deeper. His hair is grayer. The weight of command. Explain. Toxins. The GMO plants are killing our bees. Without bees, there will be no pollination. Without pollination, most edible plants won't survive. Even the synthetics need insects for some processes. Zhang is silent for a long time. I hear the ticking of the clock on the wall. An old mechanical clock, the only thing in the colony that isn't electronic. A reminder of a time that flowed differently. How many bees are left? 10. Enough to repopulate? You don't know how long that will take. Bees need months to build a strong colony, and your plan is a full conversion to synthetics within 60 days. Zhang stands up. He walks to the window. He looks at the twin suns. We have 12,000 people in cryostasis. The oxygen reserves will last for 127 days. After that, they will start to die. The children first? Their metabolism is the fastest. So you choose, Dr. Okonkwo. Bees or children? Memory or the future? Day 1, 189. Personal diary, 247. I haven't slept in 38 hours. I lie in the dark and think about the bees. 10 bees. That's all that's left of Earth's entire ecosystems. Billions of years of evolution, enclosed in 10 tiny bodies. I remember a lecture from my first year of university. Professor Adeyemi, an old woman from Lagos, who survived the great extinction of 2067. A bee is not just an insect, she said. It is an ecosystem engineer. Without bees, there are no plants. Without plants, there is no oxygen. Without oxygen, there is no us. And I am choosing between them and the children in cryostasis. It's not fair. This shouldn't be my choice to make, but it is. So, what do I do? A third thing. Day 198. Biosphere Alpha. Section A, northeast corner. I'm recording this late at night. No one can know. Not yet. In the farthest corner of Section A, behind the wheat beds, I have built a small chamber, 2 meters by 2. Glass walls made of plasglass, hermetically sealed. A microclimate. Inside a stable temperature of 22 degrees, 70% humidity, light from full-spectrum LED lamps mimicking the Earth's sun as closely as possible. And 10 beehives. I built them myself, from 3D printed plastic, but according to a traditional design, just as Grandpa showed me. I open the chamber door. Warmth bursts in my face. It smells of honey, of wax, of life. The bees are buzzing. It's the most beautiful sound I've heard in months. You will survive, I say to them. I will protect you, and I will protect the memory of where we come from. Day 234, Biosphere Alpha, 1112. Today I picked the first tomato. The first tomato grown outside of Earth. It's small, maybe 5 centimeters in diameter. It doesn't have a perfect shape, slightly flattened on one side, with a small scar from the blossom on top. The color is deep, a dark red with a hint of purple where it received the most light. I hold it in my hands, warm, heavier than I expected. The skin is taut, smooth. Under my fingers, I feel the pulse of life, the juices inside, the seeds, everything that makes a tomato, and not just a shape and color. I lift it to my nose. God, it smells. It smells of home. It smells of summer in Grandpa's orchard. It smells of picnics by the lake. It smells of my mother in the kitchen, slicing tomatoes for a salad. It smells of everything I loved. I have to taste it. I bite through the skin. It's crisp. It breaks under my teeth. The juice explodes in my mouth, sweet, acidic, with a hint of green, a note of earth. It tastes like life, and like death, because this is the taste of a world that no longer exists. Day 267, Communication Center. Emergency transmission. Everyone to the center, immediately. We stand before the screen, all 8 awakened colonists, plus Zhang, Yuki, Leon. The image materializes. It's not a coordination center. The image shows the sky, a sky over a rainforest. I recognize it, the mountains in the background, the characteristic shape, the Amazon. Sector D17, where I collected samples 10 years before launch. But something is wrong. The sky is orange. The entire horizon is burning. Manaus Research Station. Fire is spreading. 40% of the Amazon is covered. We cannot. Evacuation impossible. Temperature, 51 degrees. The smoke is everywhere. I can't breathe. If anyone is listening, this is the end. This is the end of Earth's lungs. I stare at the empty screen. 40% of the Amazon. The transmission traveled for 12 years. 15 years passed there. This recording is 15 years old. The Amazon burned 15 years ago. And I didn't even know. Day 278. Biosphere Alpha. Late night. I sit in Section A. Plants surround me. Tomatoes, basil, wheat, everything I saved. And I think about what I didn't save. The orchids from Borneo, the sequoias from California, the baobabs from Africa, millions of species I don't even know, all gone. Leon arrives after 20 minutes. I hear his steps heavy, masculine, familiar. Maya, it burned. The whole Amazon burned. I know. You don't understand. Those were the planet's lungs. Without them, Earth couldn't breathe. I know, he repeats. That's why we are here. That's why you are here. What? To make this planet breathe. To build new lungs. Different, but alive. He rests his head on my shoulder. I feel his weight, his warmth, the scent of sweat and machines and something else, the scent of another human being. You're not alone in this, Maya. You don't have to save the world by yourself. But if not me, then who? Us. All of us. Day 312. Colony Council. Emergency session. I demand a vote. I beg your pardon. I stand before the council. All 8 senior specialists, plus 3 technicians awakened in the second cycle. I demand a vote on the future of the biosphere. Full GMO-3, as Commander Zhang proposes, or the hybrid system that I propose. Dr. Okonkwo, we have already discussed. We haven't voted. This is not a decision for one person. This is a decision about who we will be as a species, as a civilization. Yuki Tanaka speaks for the first time. What kind of hybrid are you proposing, Maya? I activate the holographic presentation. 70% of the biosphere GMO-3. For efficiency. For survival. 30% traditional earth plants. Hermetically sealed from the GMO zone to protect the insects. The synthetics will give us oxygen and food. The traditional plants will give us something more. Identity. Memory. A reason to live. One of the engineers. That's inefficient. It's human. And that's what matters. Zhang is silent. He looks at the hologram. At me. We vote, he says finally. Day 313. Personal diary. 023. I won. God, I won. 7 votes for the hybrid, 4 against. A majority. Zhang voted against. Of course. But he didn't block the decision. I could see something in his eyes. Resignation. Acceptance. The weight of command. Leon voted for. Yuki voted for. After the vote, Leon approached me. He put a hand on my shoulder, warm, steady. You did the right thing, he said. And for the first time in months, I felt like I wasn't alone. Day 356. Biosphere Alpha. Memory Garden Opening Ceremony. Today, we open the Memory Garden. We stand before Section A. All 18 awakened colonists, plus the first 3 children born in the colony. Children. One is 3 months old, the daughter of Yuki and engineer Dmitri, Aya. The first child born off Earth. This garden, I say loudly, is not for efficiency. It's not for science. It is for memory, for who we were, and for who we want to remain. I open the doors. Everyone enters. The air in the memory garden is different from the rest of the colony. Warmer, more humid. It smells of earth and chlorophyll and flowers and life. God, it's beautiful. The smell. I see Leon. He's standing under a small apple tree, the first one that bloomed a month ago. He touches the bark. He closes his eyes. Carmen loved apples, he says. And Isabel, my daughter. I walk over to him. I take his hand. They are here now, in every tree, in every leaf. We kiss for the first time, and it tastes like home, like forgiveness, like a new beginning. Day 398. Communication Center, final transmission, everyone in the center again. We know what this means. A voice female, old, broken. Last station, Himalayas, temperature, 48, cooling systems, not working, children, in the rooms. I tried. I can't. If anyone survives, tell them we tried, that we loved, that we lived. That was the last one. There will be no more transmissions. Earth is dead. I look at the screen, and I know it's true, but I won't let everything die. Day 456, Biosphere Alpha. Late evening. I am sitting in the memory garden. The leaves of the wheat rustle around me. The bees buzz in their hives. It smells of damp earth and basil and life. Leon is sleeping beside me, his head resting on my shoulder. I hear his breath deep, steady, calm. Outside the dome window, 2 suns are setting behind the horizon. One amber, one blue. They cast double shadows on the silver dust of Nova Terra. This is not Earth. It never will be. But it is home. A new home. And maybe, that's enough. Act 2 ends. Tomorrow, the future begins. Act 3. Bloom. Day 512. Video log. Dr. Maya Okonkwo. I am beginning the final report for the first year of colonization. I look through the biosphere window. The suns are rising, first the amber Kepler A, 5 minutes later the blue Kepler B. Light fills the dome like a slow wave, changing the shadows from navy to gold, then to silver. And for the first time in 512 days, I feel something that resembles peace. Colony status: 18 senior specialists, fully functional. 3 newborn children, all healthy. The first wave of awakenings, 120 people, is scheduled for day 580. The biosphere is producing oxygen at 123% of requirements. Food yields exceed projections by 86%. It's working. God, it's really working. Day 534. Memory Garden, 7:15. I hear birds. Not real birds, it's a recording from Earth, played through speakers in the dome. But I close my eyes and for a moment, I'm back in my grandfather's orchard, the sun on my face, the smell of grass, the song of starlings at dawn. Leon finds me among the tomato beds. Sleeping here again? I wasn't sleeping. I was working. He sits down next to me. I feel the warmth of his body, the smell of recycled coffee he's holding in a mug. A metallic, bitter smell, but better than nothing. I'm worried about you, he says. You're working 18-hour days. It's not healthy. I have to prepare the garden for the first awakening. 120 people, Leon. They'll want to see something from home. They'll see you, and that will be enough. I take his hand. Rough skin, calloused from work in the engine rooms. Warm, real. Thank you. It tastes like coffee and hope. Day 567. Genetics Laboratory, Night Research. A breakthrough. I'm analyzing the DNA of the bees from the microclimate. The screen glows in the darkness, colorful helices, nucleotide sequences dancing like constellations. They're mutating, not drastically, not dangerously, but they are adapting. Chromosome number 7 shows a change in the region that codes for enzymes metabolizing foreign chemical compounds. This means the bees are learning to live near the GMOs. Evolution in real time. I look at the data and feel, I don't know what to call it. Awe, fear, hope. Life always finds a way. Even here, 638 light years from home. Day 580, Awakening Center. Level -5. Today is the first mass awakening cycle. I stand before cryostasis chamber number 0237. Through the plasglass, I see a figure frozen, motionless, covered in frost like a marble sculpture. Dr. Amara Johnson, microbiologist, 43 years old. Specialization, symbiotic nitrogen-fixing bacteria. Someone I've never met, but who could be key to the colony's future. The temperature rises, -130, -90, -50. The chamber fills with steam, a mist of condensation, white, thick, blurring the figure inside. It moves. The woman opens her eyes, bloodshot, disoriented, full of fear. Dr. Johnson? I say calmly. I'm Dr. Maya Okonkwo. Welcome to New Earth. Day 581. Audio Diary, 322. 120 people woke up today, and every single one of them cried. Some cried with relief, with joy that they survived. Others cried from fear. They all cried when they learned about Earth. Dr. Amara Johnson, the microbiologist I woke up, first asked about her mother in Lagos. I had to tell her. Lagos disappeared 15 years ago. The sea level rose by 7 meters. I'm sorry. She looked at me as if I had killed her. Maybe I do kill them every day. Every day when I tell them the truth. But the truth is all I have. Day 6, 112. Memory Garden. First tour. Welcome to the Memory Garden. 120 new colonists stand before the entrance to Section A. I see their faces, curiosity mixed with grief, hope with despair. This garden is not part of the oxygen production, I explain. It's not part of the food system. It is an archive, a living museum, the last seeds of Earth. They enter slowly, as if into a cathedral. The air inside smells different from the rest of the colony, damp, alive, full of chlorophyll and flowers and earth. Tomatoes. God, they're real tomatoes. I remember this smell. My mother had a garden. What's that sound? Those little flying things? Bees, I answer. They're bees. I see Dr. Amara Johnson kneeling by a bed of basil. She touches the leaves with trembling fingers. She lifts them to her nose. This smells like childhood. And then I understand. This garden isn't just plants. It's our souls. It's everything we were. It's the only thing that still makes us human. Day 678. Colony Council. Crisis meeting. We have a problem. Report. Dr. Okonkwo. The temperature in the GMO section has risen by 3 degrees in the last 48 hours. The cooling systems are at maximum capacity, but something is blocking them. I showed it to the engineers. It's not a technical failure. It's biological. I turn on the hologram. A microscopic image materializes above the table. It's a fungus. Everyone stares at the image. A network of mycelium white, branching threads wrapping around the roots of the GMO plants. It appeared 3 weeks ago. Initially, we thought it was symbiotic mycorrhiza, but it's not a symbiont. It's a parasite. If we don't stop it within 30 days, the entire GMO section will die, and we will lose 70% of our oxygen production. What do you propose? Fungicides. Strong ones. But they will also kill all other fungi in the biosphere, including those in the memory garden. Dr. Amara Johnson, we can't. That would destroy the symbiotic nitrogen-fixing bacteria. The traditional plants won't survive without them. I look at the council. At each face, I see fear, desperation. So we choose again, efficiency or memory, the future or the past. Day 689. Memory Garden. Night Reflections. I lie among the beds. The floor is cold, metallic, but I don't care. I look at the plants around me. Tomatoes, basil, wheat, apple trees, everything I saved. Tell me what to do, I whisper to them. Please, I have to save you, but I don't know how. Maya? Leon, I know what you're thinking. I doubt it. You think you have to choose between this garden and the colony, but you don't. Zhang wants to use fungicides. Zhang wants a solution. He doesn't care what the solution is, only that it works. What do you mean? I asked Dr. Johnson about her research yesterday. She talked about symbiotic bacteria, bacteria that live together with fungi, compete with them, control them. You think that could work? I think you have the most diverse microbiological ecosystem in the entire colony. Right here, in the soil of the memory garden. The soil remembers. Everything remembers, Maya. Even bacteria. Day 698. Laboratory. Rescue experiment. I propose introducing microbiomes from the memory garden into the GMO section. That makes no scientific sense. Earth bacteria are not adapted to synthetic plants. That's precisely why they might work. The parasitic fungus is new. It evolved here, in our biosphere. The GMOs have no defense. But Earth's microorganisms? They know every possible variant. 3 billion years of evolution has given them the tools. Doctor, It could work. If we introduce the right mix, competitive mycorrhiza, cellulolytic bacteria, sulfur-reducing archaea, we'll create an ecosystem that will fight the parasite. How much time do you need? 7 days to prepare the cultures, 14 days to introduce them, 21 days, and we'll see the effects. You have 10 days. After that, we use the fungicides. No exceptions. Day 704, GMO Biosphere. Section B, Introducing Microbiomes. I kneel in the soil of Section B. Around me, perfectly straight rows of synthetic plants. The green is as bright as neon. The stems are as stiff as wire. In my hands, I hold a container. Plastic, translucent, filled with a dark brown substance. Soil from the memory garden. It smells of home. This is all I have, I whisper. All that's left of Earth. Please, work. I pour the soil around the roots of the first plant. The dark brown contrasts with the light, sterile substrate of the synthetics. Like blood on snow, I move to the next plant, and the next, and the next. I work for 8 hours. My hands are dirty, my back aches, my knees are red from kneeling, but I did it. Now, all there is to do is wait. Day 711, Laboratory. Results. I look into the microscope. The screen shows a cross-section of a GMO plant root. God, Leon, Amara, come see this. They all look at the screen. This is the parasitic fungus. See the white threads? And these are the bacteria from the memory garden. They are surrounding the mycelium, competing for space. They're winning. Amara, the parasite's growth rate has dropped by 67%. Maya, it's working. I turn to them. I smile for the first time in weeks. They remembered. The bacteria remembered how to fight. Day 724. Colony Council. Final report. After 20 days of observation, the parasite has been contained. The microbiomes from the memory garden have created a stable ecosystem in the GMO section. The temperature has dropped to normal. Oxygen production has increased by 12%. The system is stable. Zhang looks at me for a long time. I see something new in his eyes, not resignation, not acceptance, respect. You did well, Dr. Okonkwo. You saved the colony. Both colonies. Not me. Earth. Earth saved us. Day 789. Memory garden. First birth. I am holding a baby in my arms. The first child born after the crisis. Dr. Amara Johnson's son. She named him Emeka, like my grandfather. Can you hold him here? Amara asks. In the garden? Of course. I sit on a bench under the apple tree. The baby in my arms has his eyes closed. So small. Perfect. His skin is as soft as a petal. Around us, the bees buzz. The leaves rustle in the ventilation. It smells of basil and earth and life. This is his first visit to the garden, I say quietly, but not his last. He will grow up here. He will know the smells of earth, even if he never sees it. Will you tell him? Amara asks. About earth. About how it was. We all will. It's our duty to pass on the memory. Day 856. Video log. Dr. Maya Okonkwo. Conclusion. Today is the final recording of the first-year protocol. Colony status. 138 colonists fully active. 9 children. The second wave of awakening 300 people is scheduled for day 900. The biosphere is stable. The memory garden is flourishing. We are safe. But this isn't the end of the story. This is the beginning. Yesterday, Leon asked me what will happen when everything we remember about Earth becomes just a legend. When our children's children no longer remember a sky blue from a single sun, or rain, or oceans. And I told him the truth. They will forget. They have to forget. To become something new. But as long as this garden lives, as long as these plants grow, there will be a part of Earth that survives. Not in our memories. In the seeds. The seeds remember everything. They remember the Ukrainian steppes, and the Nigerian orchards, and the Amazon rainforests. They remember 3 billion years of evolution. And as long as they remember, we remember too. Day 900. Memory Garden. Ceremony. Today we open the School of Memory. 300 new colonists stand before the entrance to the garden, and 20 children born here on New Earth. The first generation that will never see their mother's planet. In this school, we will teach you, I say loudly, not just botany, not just agriculture. We will teach you memory. We will teach you how basil smells and how tomatoes taste and how bees sound. We will teach you the language of Earth so that you can pass it on. The children run into the garden first. I hear their laughter, pure, joyful sounds echoing off the dome. Mom, look, it's flying. Can we touch it? Carefully. That's called a leaf. I stand at the entrance and watch them. Small hands touching the earth, noses smelling the flowers, eyes wide with wonder. This is the future, not the one we planned, not the one we dreamed of, but alive and beautiful. Day 912. Personal Diary. 23:45. Final entry. The last entry in my journal. Tomorrow I transition to a normal routine. I will no longer be a senior specialist. I will simply be a teacher, a gardener, a keeper of memory. Leon sleeps beside me. I hear his breath, deep, steady, the warmth of his body next to mine. Through the wall, a baby is crying, one of the newborns. Someone is rocking it, singing softly. The melody is unfamiliar, maybe from Earth, maybe new. It's hard to say. I get up quietly. I walk to the window. Through the plasglass, I see New Earth. The silvery dust shimmers in the starlight. The two suns are below the horizon, the quiet before dawn. This is not Earth. It never will be. But today, in the Biomed lab, Dr. Tanaka planted the first tree grown from a seed of the Memory Garden's apple tree. Today, the bees built a new hive. Today, 2 children learned to tell tomatoes from peppers by their smell. And today, I understood something important. Memory is not what I've lost. It is not the past. Memory is the seeds I have planted. It is the plants that are growing. It is the children who are learning. Memory is not something that ends. It is something that grows. Like life. Always like life. Epilogue. 50 years later. Archival recording. This is Dr. Maya Okonkwo, senior botanist, retired, speaking on the 50th anniversary of our landing. I am sitting in the memory garden. I am 79 years old. My hair is completely white. My hands are wrinkled like the bark of old trees. But around me, God, around me. A forest. The memory garden is no longer a garden. It is a forest. 50 years of growth. Apple trees as tall as 3-story buildings. Wheat transformed into wild meadows. Tomatoes climbing the structures like vines. And children, hundreds of children. The 3rd generation born on New Earth. They run among the trees. They gather fruit. They laugh. I teach here every day. I tell them about Earth. About the oceans they will never see. About the great forests that burned. About Grandpa Emeka and his orchard near Lagos. And I see in their eyes, not understanding, not completely. To them, Earth is a fairy tale, a myth, a legend. And that's okay, because they have their own Earth, their own trees, their own sky with 2 suns. And when they touch the bark of an apple tree, a tree grown from a seed I brought from Earth, they touch 3 billion years of history. That is enough. It has to be enough. I close my eyes. I listen to the sounds of the forest, the buzzing of bees, the rustle of leaves, the singing of children, and I know that the seeds remember. They will always remember. The last seeds, the first forest, a new home,